Wow. Is this another episode? What is this consistency? These raised voices,
I
ladies.
mean, we out here doing a thing.
My goodness. Did y'all get to miss us? I mean, have we been off your television screens or out of your earbuds long enough? Or are we coming too much? Tell us.
I mean, are you tired of us yet?
Oh,
We're
don't
not
answer
tired
that
of
one.
us.
I
That's
ain't
the most
ready yet.
important.
I'm still trying. I'm still working on my transformational stuff. Don't answer that question. Save it. Save that homework for 2 weeks when I'm stronger
Right.
and braver.
Right. Because I can't actively reflect on that one.
Right. I ain't ready. I ain't ready. Listen, future risers, current risers, and prospective risers. We just gonna add to the list because we don't know where you are in your journey. You
Hmm.
gotta tell us. If you would comment, we would know. If you would email, we would know. So we just got to do all the labels.
Yes.
Welcome. Raised
Welcome.
voices. We're back.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all know how it is. We don't go away for too long because we need continuous work. We've been doing continuous work and we want to convince you to do continuous work for yourself. So, listen, one thing I'm going to do before I hand this over to Mrs. Sounds is this: our logo has changed. It's still us. Oh yeah, I'm just not gonna assume that you noticed that because I don't know how often you're visiting the casa.
Right. Some of y'all
The
we haven't seen
casa.
since two
Yeah.
weeks ago.
I don't know if you went to YouTube and saw us and see us. So it's still us. So while the logos may change, you see the faces. We are the raised voices. Okay. It is not about the logo, but we wanted to get one that was better. And so, as the conversations are starting to unveil themselves and unfold, this is where we are now with our logo. So, look for our faces. If the logos change, look for the faces, and here we are. So, I just wanted to say it because I don't know who's watching versus who's listening. So, I thought that's an important tidbit to say. It's still us, same faces. All right. So
Absolutely.
I know that this is episode 7.
My goodness. What does seven mean? But you know what?
Oh,
All right. I think we get a little too deep.
look at that. Look at that. The sounds got a question. Y'all be respectful and answer that question. Do you know what the number 7 signifies?
Mm. Whew.
Do you? There's something called Google. You might want to get to know it. Google and I are
Clickety
married.
clackety clack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Google and I are married. You were not invited to the wedding. It's an open relationship. Oh, look, I'm
Yeah.
starting. All right. I'm just saying, it's Google. Google is okay with that. I'm okay with that. There is no cheating involved. We're good. Okay. It's an understanding. All right. We're not talking about anything traditional. We're just making fun. But listen, episode 7. So, what I want you to take from this, by the fact that we're telling you what the episodes are, is that we're on the move and we're serious about our movement,
Yes.
less about the number. We want you to know that we are consistently showing up for ourselves, for each other, and for
Hmm.
you. That's
Yes.
why we tell you what episode we're on, so that you understand that there are conversations, different ones that are happening. And should you choose to come along, we're going to let you know what the numbers are because we want you to know that step by step, we're doing it and we hope you will join us. So listen, the sounds is in the building.
Hey y'all. Miss Sounds is here and I'm ready to get into the meat of what we're gonna be discussing today. I want to first say though, before we even get into that, that we have a topic today that is can can go err on the side of a little heavy in some ways, depending on how it resonates with you. And so I want to start by saying that we are not medical professionals, mental health care professionals in any shape or form. We are two women that are speaking from our experiences, our reflections, and the things that we're piecing together in our own lives. And so if you do need to seek that for your life. But also, if the conversation goes in a direction that is triggering for you and you feel anything rise up in you that feels uncomfortable, feels like it's not um, something you want to continue,
Yeah.
we ask that you please just pause or step away, close out the conversation, wait for next week if you need to do that. But we want you to take care of you first. So just want to make that disclaimer. We love y'all.
We do.
Yes, we
We're
do.
trying to show
Yes, we
you. So please listen to what she's saying. Please.
yes.
And thank you in advance. That's all.
Yes. Um, Ironically, talking about love, our quote of the day, our word of the day, as we like to call it, is our opening segment. And it is as reads: if we really want to love, we must learn how to forgive.
Uh-oh.
Our topic today is surrounding forgiveness, but our quote is also kind of a branch off of that. So we're just gonna reflect right now on how we feel when it comes to that. Um Azali, tell me, take it away. Take it away from me, please.
Oh boy. Why she do that? That's because she wants me to activate within the presence of what I heard her say. See, this active listening thing from that
Active reflection.
episode, it just keeps resurfacing. Well, this one's tough because there are many layers to it. But I would say in my life, I have discovered that it is true that I have to ask myself from time to time, do I truly love people as I say if I don't want to learn how to forgive when I'm irritated, frustrated, or just do not understand the action of others? I do have to
Mm,
ask myself because I often do say, I really just love people. I say it. And there are times I don't really love people because I'm
mm,
irritated, I'm frustrated, and I don't understand why certain decisions or behaviors or actions happen.
yeah, yeah,
Even deeper than that, I don't like when I don't behave the way I perceive my own self to be. I'm not
yes,
forgiving of me when I
yes.
feel that I am showing actions that are back before I feel I've gotten better. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
so I know that dealing with not forgiving is an internal battle first, that when I lose that battle and then I look outside of these eyes of mine, then I
Mm.
judge harshly and don't remember to love or to forgive because at that moment I'm not loving me. I'm not. It's
Yeah,
a question. I'm not.
yeah, yeah. Man, I I resonate with a lot of that because when it comes to forgiveness, as love is, it's a choice, right? It's something you choose to do for the well-being of whoever it's affect. Like if it's you that you need to forgive, you're choosing your well-being emotionally, mentally, spiritually, um, by choosing to release something.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, what we're choosing when it comes to ourselves, we're releasing who we thought we were.
Yeah.
We are releasing our expectations that were built around what people thought about us.
Yes.
Um, and to truly, when I think about forgiveness, I think of a letting go. And I think of letting go and choice. And so when we say we love ourselves, there is a letting go of our learned selves or who we had to be. And there's an embracing of our true selves. And I think to love yourself is to embrace and accept who you truly are outside of what people told you were, what you accepted as who you're supposed to be. Um, and choosing to not go in that cycle anymore of being disappointed with your learned self and
Yes.
being disappointed that you can't upkeep that. and
Yes.
saying, you know what, I was never made to upkeep this. I love me, the core of me, which is truth. It's the
Yeah.
truth about who I am.
Yeah. The thing that concerns me or sometimes puzzles me is this true self
Mm-hmm.
that we say.
Yeah.
Because I will say in my life that there are various versions of my true self
Yeah.
that show up depending on the room I'm in,
Yeah.
the people I'm around, and what I'm going through personally at that time.
Yeah.
And all of those show up can be true in their capacity for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I still am working to find my truest self, the
Yeah.
truest one, the one that every day I'm her, every day, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, that is the
Yeah.
core me. And that does not mean that the core me cannot change as I get older, because
Yeah.
experience and length of time on this earth should change some of your core. So
Mm.
um
Yeah.
I want to learn how to love more and deeper, but to do it with wisdom. Because I
Mm.
feel that you can aspire to love and to love deeply and profoundly and love in spite of, and lose you, the individual, and therefore the work or purpose that you have on this planet to accomplish. Like you,
Yeah.
not someone with your
Yeah.
name, just you.
Yeah. No,
Right?
I
So I
love
want to
that.
be
Yeah.
careful. I want to, so I do, I love the quote, if we really, that word really is what stands out for me, really want to, because what it says to me is if I continuously seek to love. So that
Mm-hmm.
really want for me equals like you're doing work on making sure you check yourself, that are
Mm-hmm.
you showing love in this moment? Are you feeling love in this moment? Can you give love? Because I feel like to show love and give love are not
Mm-hmm.
always the same. I could be wrong.
Mm.
Because I could show
Yeah.
love, but I am annoyed by you, but I'm going to do the right thing.
Right.
You're not getting my love. You think you're getting it. No, baby. I'm just showing you love. Okay. Because I'm finna
Mm.
escape after I'm finished dropping that little love on you, and then I'm gone. But to give
Yeah.
love, for me, again, for me, give love is regardless of how I feel, I must do this for you.
Mm.
Yeah, must. There's something inside of me that
Ooh.
propels me to have to do it for you.
Yeah.
That's my give love. My show love is all right, this is the right thing to do. I'm finna do this thing. And
Yeah.
then this thing gonna be over. And I mean I had to do this thing again, but I did it the one time that I felt I had to do it. But I don't have any desire to have a repeat performance.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. Two things. One is the true self kind of statement we were talking about earlier, which you mentioned, showing up different. Sometimes it shows up differently in different places. So your true self shows can adjust based on your environment. Um, when I think of true self, I think of the inherent worth and love that has formed me.
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
Like I live from a place of I'm loved, I'm accepted, I'm good. And if I show up in this space like this, I'm loved and I'm accepted, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so it's not necessarily a character type more than it is a source, you know,
Mm.
what has birthed you, what has formed you, what
Mhm.
what what flows through your veins, like love, inherent love. And then to your point, recent the one that you just made about giving and showing
Yeah.
love, I think that some um some ways we interact with people in love is is based on just basic human respect,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
don't have a relationship with you,
No, ma'am.
but as a human being, I respect you because first I respect me as a human being,
Yes.
right? And so what would I need, even if I'm being my worst self, what would I need? And
Yeah.
so even when you being your worst self,
Yeah.
what can I give you on a basic human level? But I
Yes.
can and do this out of, I don't gotta come back again as in a way that I would come back if we had a deep relationship.
Right.
If we have a deep relationship, there is a level of things that I'm willing to take in this
Oh yeah.
relationship
Oh yeah.
and things that I'm willing to fix and work through with you. And when you, if I get offended, you get offended, we're working through this thing.
Yes.
But there is a extra step that I go to, extra length that I go to show, to give you this love that I have, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's healthy to distinguish the two because some
Yeah.
people
I
we
think
don't have
it's
relationship with.
spiritually led too, because some people you just love them. Like you may not be able to define why.
Yeah, yeah,
Like maybe why number one,
yeah.
but you got 10 toes deep of love for them.
Yes.
But you can
I just
only
met you
tell them,
yesterday.
yes,
Yeah.
you would tell them about that one, but inside of you, there's 9 other layers that I just love you.
Mm.
Like you, and
Yes.
we're not just talking about romantic love. I'm talking about something that can start from an admiration of a person that, again, as Miss Sounds says, you don't have a deep relationship. It can be a brand new one. It could
Mm-hmm.
look as if it has the potential to be
Mm-hmm.
a starter relationship, friendship, because we seem to just hit it off wherever we show up.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't defined we have a friendship. We haven't defined we have any type of relationship, but generally have a great time when you show up. It's cool. Everything is cool.
Yeah.
And so that can happen and you have just mad love for that person.
Mad love for no
Seriously,
reason.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing, we haven't defined anything. We haven't cemented anything. There's no tags on this thing. But when you show
No.
up to the thing and I show up to the thing, it's a good time. Everything
Magic.
is cool with the world.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so that's part of what we're talking about. And discovering love as treacherous and dangerous and sacrificial
Mm.
that can be. If you
Oof.
don't ever take the trip to do it, you regret it. You
Oof.
do. I mean, you
Yeah.
do. I mean, come on. People talk around you. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take the trip. So, for us
Mm.
in bringing this up, one of
Yeah.
the topics we have started to really dig into is this statement: I will not forgive you.
Oof.
Oh, you ain't never heard that? Come on now. You in the world.
You ain't never said that?
Somebody said it. Will not. I mean, they're making a conscious,
Ooh.
almost
Declaration.
forever decision, right? I will not.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I
Mm.
cannot. I will not.
Oof.
Will not. Oh, you ain't even going. You ain't going to think about it for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Nothing.
Uh, that's permanent marker you just wrote on the
Yeah.
sand right there.
Will not.
Will not.
In no way. Not going to consider it.
Mm.
Ain't going to pray about it. Ain't going to ask anybody their opinion of it. Gonna
Oh
be no
no.
negotiation. No, nothing.
Nothing.
So that's what we're saying.
Ooh.
If you've heard that or it's been said to you or you have said it, I will not forgive you. Because I'm telling you, the shoulders can square up a little bit now, right? You may not be a fighter, but when you say will,
Ooh, you meant that thing with your chest.
absolutely. Whole body stance is like, let's go, ready, not happening. Come on now, people.
10 toes down. Yes.
Hey, this is not strange to you. But we want to
Mm.
examine that. And we have examined ourselves like the times we've said, I will not. Like soldier deep. Nah, ain't doing it.
Mm.
No chance. We go nowhere from here. We don't even make peace.
Mm.
Oh,
Don't even look at me.
don't even try. Oh,
Don't
let me
say
tell you
my
one from the Black
name.
community. I can say that I'm Black. Don't
Yes.
even think about it. Wait,
Mm.
I can't think about approaching you for us to have a conversation about forgiveness when we once shared love. Wow.
Wow. Deep one. Deep one. We gotta dive in, Zali. We gotta
Take
dive
a
in.
whole inhale, small
Yes,
exhale.
y'all. Inhale and
Because guess what? I've been guilty of that, of saying that, and I meant that thing
mm-hmm.
from the toe all the way up, meant it. And listen, I am not saying that that statement is incorrect in certain dire, severe, serious, detrimental situations. Domestic violence. Oh, baby, get your will not on. Get your will not on. Because sometimes you have to say, I will not, to get out and then work on you to get to the place of forgiveness. Right? Your will not is your boundary, is your barrier. So that person doesn't re-enter into that intimate space that they can continue to be a predator. I said it. I meant it. Predator. I meant to say that. So in certain situations where your life for certainty is in trouble, for certainty, this ain't a guess. This ain't a feeling. This is a fact. Your will not is needed to get out, then to do the work, then to forgive. That's not what we're talking
Absolutely.
about. We're not talking about those deep relationships. So Miss
No.
Sounds, she did her research. That's what she does. Why are you
Okay, you know,
shocked?
a little some, you know,
Right. They all shocked. Take that
I know.
surprise
I heard the
look off
gasp.
your face.
Don't do that. Don't do that to
Did
me.
somebody gasp?
Not to
They're
me.
writing a book. They had to gasp. They were practicing their gasp for page number 2. So talk
Don't
to
do
us
that, y'all.
about some
I'm
of the
good for it.
research that you've discovered, and just
Well,
how you
yeah.
received the research. How did it hit you? I'm just interested. How did you embody that thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first I had to kind of define unforgiveness to begin with. Because I think that we have perspectives on unforgiveness that need a little bit more clarity, need people who are dealing with this to know that it is not necessarily for the other person more than it is for you.
Yes, ma'am.
First. And so unforgiveness, um, based on the conversations we've had in previous podcasts about mental wellness, it's actually a mental state. It's a state that you can access. And it's often accessed when you've been deeply offended, deeply hurt, deeply betrayed. And in that state, there are a bunch of emotions swirling around that keep you there. And that's bitterness, fear, hurt, sadness, deep pain. And so it's good for us to frame it that way first, to know that it is something that you can access and it is something you can leave.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
And so we'll get to the leave. Yeah, you ain't ready to leave that place.
I know this
It's
state.
fine. Okay, yeah, that's going to take that it can take degrees from years. It can take months, whatever it takes for you. We ain't telling you what to do, how to do. We just saying it is a state that you are in, that we've been in, that we are in different areas of our lives, that we can also work to leave and enter another one.
Yes.
And so in my research, I found that in this state of unforgiveness, our body is in a state of chronic fight or flight.
Mm.
And we know that fight or flight it is natural for our bodies to do this. And it is often supposed to be used in circumstances where we're actually in real danger.
Yeah, agreed.
And so the instances where you are deeply offended or deeply hurt or deeply painful may have required fight or flight because it was a dangerous situation, it was unsafe for you. But the problem with unforgiveness is that it never leaves the state of fight or flight. And your body is not meant to stay in an activated defensive state for that long period of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So you'll notice that if you're in the state of fight or flight, or if you're dealing with unforgiveness, you might have chronic stress,
Ooh,
super stressed out, chronic anger, depression, digestive issues, issues with sleeping, weight gain, a weakened immune system, heart problems, intrusive thoughts. Any of these things may show up in a state of unforgiveness. Um, and then the other part is that unforgiveness, while a state that initially started as a way to protect you,
yeah,
it never, it never, it never stops protecting you. Um, and so what you're experiencing, the state of unforgiveness, anger, hurt, pain, bitterness, staying awake, weight gain, different things that may affect you, um, your body thinks it's protecting you the whole
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's almost similar to stress. So
Yes.
unforgiveness can be a type of stress
Yes.
that stays on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And have we not been warned that being in a state of stress all the time diminishes our life expectancy?
Mm.
You don't want that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You don't want that. I think that we are more comfortable talking about those who have substance abuse issues getting help,
Yeah.
but staying in a state of stress all the time is an abuse issue. May not be a substance abuse issue, it's an abuse issue. And we're not saying
Yeah.
that everyone that is in that state can help it, turn it off.
Yes.
But we're
Yes.
just saying we need to start to be more careful not to pre label certain populations or state of being as the main problem in the world. You keeping yourself in stress,
Mm.
that's a problem too, mama.
Yeah.
That's a problem too, daddy. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So we're just asking that as part of your personal development that you're doing as you speak with us, join us, listen to us, comment, and do your own homework, that you re-examine that what we're talking about in this thing of unforgiveness. Can you go back and check and make sure your unforgiveness that might be showing up as stress, is it
Mm-hmm.
stress? Do you know that for a fact it's stress, or is there something else or
Is there
some
something
other things
else?
you're holding on to that your body don't want you to go to sleep? Your body
Mm.
is gaining weight. Your body is rejecting natural food you're eating. You're living on
Mm.
fruits, but you got digestive issues.
Mm.
You're not consuming dairy, all the stuff they say not to do. You got it. You're doing all of that. Check all the boxes, and yet,
Mm.
and I work out every day. What's sitting in me?
What else is there? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I just
Man.
need to say that, Miss Sounds, because
No, that's that's amazing.
as you were
Um,
saying it, I was like, wait, that sounds like stress, but ooh, let me check it.
yeah. Yeah. And it's like the crazy part, I don't know if crazy is the right word, but the interesting part about all of this is that your body is doing what it's designed to do, which is protect you,
Yes, ma'am.
but it's also not resting.
Yeah.
And we talked about rhythm of, you know, work and rest.
Yes.
And nobody is meant to be on overdrive
No.
forever, you know. And so I think it's the conversation I think we want to start with in leaning towards forgiveness is, what do you owe yourself? Like, do you owe it to yourself to rest? And if you see it like that, I think that it takes the person that offended you kind of out of the equation for a second, because it's hard to think about this in the context of what happened and who was there.
Yes.
And when we take a second to say, you know what, all right, I'm not dealing with the entire equation, X plus 2X and me.
Yeah.
What do I deserve in this situation?
Yes.
What does my body deserve? What does my mind, my spirit deserve?
Yes.
And I think we should start there, don't you
Yeah,
think?
I agree. And there's a balancing act. You said something that was quite interesting, and I was thinking about it. You said that the body's doing what it's designed or supposed to do in protecting you.
Yeah.
What's happening is that you have two protection mechanism in the natural body vying for first spot in your life. Because fight and
Mm.
flight is protection. Rest is also protection. And if these
Mm.
two things that are supposed to be on when they're supposed to be on, they're on all the time,
Yeah.
they're not working because they were never supposed to be
Yeah.
24 hours. They were supposed to take their shifts
Shift. Ooh, come on.
in your life. But everybody clocking in at the same time. We got more people than we need working right now. Nobody's getting paid because we don't, wait, you weren't
I
supposed to be here. We
I
ran
got
out of
enough money to pay
money.
all y'all right now. Yeah.
Exactly. We ran out of money.
Yeah.
The body
Ooh.
becomes depleted and
Mm.
it is still trying to survive because you're
Mm.
still alive, but everything is turned on at the same time with no shift. That's confusion. That is confusion. That is like national war inside of you. Oh, you're just
An
looking at the
internal war.
news. I am not talking about the external news right now.
That internal.
That internal headquarters of yours
This
got,
just in.
yes,
Yes.
just hot off the press.
Right.
I
Bomb just
love that.
exploded in the heart. Yeah.
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 Your internal headquarters is in flames.
Not enough firefighters.
Not enough firefighters.
Mm.
And those who were supposed to come in different shift all in at the same time. And that's not what we're looking for. So it's just,
Yeah.
that's a problem. I don't know.
It's it is.
It's a
It's a
problem.
national emergency inside the body.
National emergency inside the body. So
Mm.
why are we bringing this? We're bringing this to say, check again. I mean, it really is that deep. If some of the things we have mentioned you're experiencing, I'd love you to check again so you can try to navigate or figure out or be aware. Is it unforgiveness? Is it stress? Is it my lifestyle? Etc. Etc. Well, Miss Sounds, that was awesome. I have got a lot of things percolating. I sound like a coffee maker. Percolating in my mind from that because I didn't expect to have homework today, but I think I have. I'm giving myself
Mm.
homework just based on some of the factors you mentioned. I'm
Mm.
going to go back and check certain things myself. I'm going to do it. So I thank
Yeah.
you for that because I'm getting homework on air that I didn't plan for. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's good for me to go back and check since I'm asking our audience to do so. So
Absolutely.
something you mentioned, and I wanted to see if we could discuss the opposite
Yeah.
to the negativity that's caused,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you discover as an individual, some of your stressful situations have the
Mm-hmm.
origin of unforgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
that if and when you are able to turn those things around, meaning start to forgive a little at a time.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be done in the measure that you're able to do it. This is not a one and
Yes.
done. This is
Yes.
your time. It's your timing. It's your rhythm.
Yes.
It's how you are able to do it. You have to determine those. We cannot tell you what those are.
No.
That would be
I
unfair.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point because when I was thinking about forgiveness, I thought about people who were robbed of a choice to be offended, right? Robbed of a choice to be you experience pain, experience any type of violation, any type of things. You didn't ask to be in that situation.
No.
You didn't even if it was you doing the offense to yourself or you kind of doing things to yourself, you didn't ask to be in that state as well,
No.
right? um and so there's a lot of choice removed from instances where you're offended and hurt.
Yeah.
And with this idea of forgiveness, you reclaim your agency and your ability to choose
Yes.
your pace.
Yes.
Because it came in like a Russian mighty wind, but that doesn't mean that the way you forgive has to be the same pace,
Oh,
right? You have to have that choice given back to you to say, you know what, I'm not ready today. All right, but tomorrow I'll do a little bit of work. Okay, I'm
yes.
not I'm gonna put it down for right now because I it's too much for me. Like you listen to your body,
Yes.
you listen to what you feel safe doing,
Yes.
and you choose.
We want you to choose. And
Mm,
our hearts united go
yes.
out to you. We are sorry for what you were exposed to without
Mm,
your permission.
mm,
I don't care your age. I don't care where you live. None of that matters to me.
no,
What matters is that it happened and you were not given a choice. And if you were
no.
given a choice, it was then stolen. So that's a double hurt. What you talking about? That's
Mm,
double. We're
mm,
sorry. We mean that.
yeah.
We're
Yes.
sorry that you had to go through that which was not your choice, not your choosing, and definitely was not what you were designed for.
Oh, come on.
But out of that, rise from the ashes because you can.
You will.
Period.
You
Do what
will.
you got to do and get out and get up and walk
Absolutely.
and then run and then pull a couple other people with you.
Mm,
Like for real. That's what we're
yes.
asking you to do. So in that, we want to look at the positive things though now.
Yeah.
We're not out here to sit on no negative. We will highlight some of the negatives because it's
Absolutely.
reality.
It's real.
It's real. People are
Mm-hmm.
hurting. People are hurting for good reasons too. For good reasons. Are we not talking about the ones that are making stuff up? We're talking about the ones that really hurting for good reasons.
Mm,
And if we knew the reasons, we'd be crying and storming the castle with them.
yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So we see you, we hear you, and we have been you.
Mm,
It's not coming from a book. It sounds like we've
mm-mm,
been you
mm-hmm.
and we came back to get you. Oh, yeah.
Come on. We're going together. Let's go.
Yeah. We came
Let's
back to
go.
get you. Okay. We came back to get
Yes.
you from the side of the road, from the back of the house, from wherever. We came back to get you.
Yes.
So, what are the
Yes.
positives then, Azali,
Yeah.
for us to look forward to
Mm-hmm.
as we release the pain little by little and try to work towards unforgiveness? The obvious one is improve mental health. What does that mean when I say that? Well, the mind clears.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
the
got a
mind.
sound mind. That's what you
Woo!
said?
Sound mind,
Mm,
where you start to feel, oh, I think I can feel me. Oh,
Hello. Hello, me.
yes. Oh, not
Mm.
just the pain. I can feel me. I can feel I want to live. I can feel
Ooh.
I want to dream. I can feel
Mm.
I want to move. I can feel I want to change. I can feel I want to create. What is happening to me? Because
Me.
the pain is still there, but I can feel something else.
Mm.
Improve mental health and improve mental processing and
Mm.
improve mental thoughts
Mm.
start to happen.
Yeah.
Because now I'm trying to think. Ooh, I'm trying
Mm.
to think, call, letting go little by little and getting over to unforgiveness VIP seating. Okay, t-shirt coming soon. Miss Sounds, is that our third t-shirt that we have yet to create?
Yes. I'm giving up my old seat, taking up a new seat in this
Yeah,
forgiveness, this home. We talked
yeah,
about home
yeah,
in me. I'm leaving the old house and I'm moving into another house.
absolutely. Because I'm worth
Mm.
it
Yeah.
and I want to live and I want to live in a place that's clean.
Ooh.
Ooh, I want to live in a place that's clean.
Mm.
Once we know there's going to be less anxiety, stress, and hostility to yourself and to others. You know why you're hostile?
You know why you get defensive?
You're not feeling well on the inside.
Mm.
And then when you don't feel well on the inside, then sometimes you don't feel well on the outside. Do you know that most diseases and illnesses we have, they do have root in our feeling? Yes, there is DNA. Yes, there is things that transform healthy cells that are no longer unhealthy that happens in the body. But you don't think any of that's connected to our emotion or our feelings or our exposure to this thing called life?
Mm.
You don't think that has anything to do with some of the changes biologically? Come on. You guys are smarter than
It,
that. Don't play games.
yeah. It's not just the carbon emissions out of the cars.
No,
It's
we're smart
life.
out here. You don't have to have
It's
a degree to be smart. You know your emotions, your feelings, your mental space, the exposure and the impact. If we can change those or the impacts of those, we can have less stress. We would have fewer symptoms of depression. I didn't
mm.
say all. Like, don't let's not do this one and done. I told y'all about that. Fewer.
Fewer. Yeah.
Miss House, can we
Fewer.
take fewer depression or sad moments in our life? Yes, right here.
I'll take it. I'll take
Azali,
for 100, Alex.
present in the class.
In
I'm
the flesh.
early. Yeah, I'm early before class starts. I want less symptoms of depression and
Mhm.
sadness. Teacher, write my name first. I'm in the class.
Mm.
This is when we're trying. Listen, we didn't even get to the positive side. We just working our way to that positive side. This stuff starts to happen.
Starts. Yes.
We didn't get there yet. We didn't arrive yet. I'm not healed yet. I'm not saying I forgive you yet. I'm still on I will not. And we stop at not. Oh, okay, I'm going to do a little work.
I just entertain the idea at this point.
Entertain the idea.
So what if I decided to explore this? Hmm.
What could happen? This is what we're
What could
saying
happen?
could happen. Some of these things. What about a stronger immune system?
Ooh.
Oh, you think gut health only has to do with the foods I eat, the things I drink only? There's no only in this life.
No, there's so many different things. Yeah.
The variations of what impacts and influence us. There's no
Mm.
only. If I could only have, stop it. You need more than that one thing. You need several things to
Yes.
rise. If I
Yes.
could only have a better job, only a better job, that's all you need, baby? Come on. I'm trying not to be on the people to them sound, but I know we're
Yeah.
smarter. I just got to remind
I
us
know. Yes. We're trying to pump them up a little bit, but yes, I feel you.
we're smarter than that. We're
Yeah.
smarter. You live in reality. You know that only doesn't work because when you get that only, you celebrate it for a moment, then you want another only. And then before we
Yeah.
know it, we have addiction that happened because we started at an only. Mm,
And we need to transform that idea that um that there's only one possibility for you, right? That you have to earn that one thing when the sky is the limit, when possibility is limitless. We say it at the end of our podcast. Potential is limitless.
yeah,
And so there's a fundamental belief that I can only have this one thing. There's so much possibility in this
yeah,
process.
yes. And everything in moderation is what we're saying. Right now, we're
Yeah.
just telling you to investigate and then do some investing in the idea, in the idea.
An idea.
That's all we're saying. We're being very light about it because we
Yeah.
know that if you even decide to take up this challenge that we're issuing, the depths that you discover will transform your life. We can't discover the
Mm.
depths for you,
No.
but we can challenge you. Think about it, check it out, see what you want to do in those realms. See if it reduces the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the physical ailments, and then figure out from that investigation, do I feel like there's a me emerging out of all of this?
Mm.
I might like how I feel. I might be able to see who I want to be every day because something is shifted and I don't only feel the pain.
Mm.
One other thing, improve heart health. We got one heart. Let's protect it. Let's nurture it. Let's love it. And let's give it some self care. Oh, I know we want to talk about the mind with self care. I get it.
Mm.
I'm actually going to go a little further.
Yeah.
What happened to the heart? And I'm talking about the heart also in the physical sense of it, as well as the spiritual sense of it. Because when your heart and your mind is in agreement, your body's in peace. Oh, come on.
Mm.
This ain't the first time you're hearing it. Don't be shocked. The greatest among us have said, I felt it in my heart. My mind agreed, and I was at peace with my decision.
Mm.
Oh, you think that means nothing? That's because you haven't investigated it for you yet.
Mm.
So, just going on this journey of introspection, of investigation, we're saying that these are some of the positive
Yes.
possibilities that you can touch.
Yes.
You're unstoppable. I just wish you'd believe that. It's true.
Yes.
You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Take us to the next aspect of this because I'm doing light,
Mm.
but I might be going heavy, even though I'm doing my little whisper voice. I don't got
Oh
the
no,
voice
this
like
is a
the sound. The sound's got the spar. I got a little whisper, but I'm trying to be easy to
yeah.
with the people, Miss Sounds.
No, I listen. This one is not an easy one. You can't.
No.
It can't be fully light because we've got some real life things happening to us, and we need to talk to the thing in its depth. So I don't think you're going too deep at all. One thing that's just coming up for me is because I know we're going to get into how do we do this, right? But one thing that's coming up for me is for self forgiveness, and I feel this coming up for me for someone out there, and it is that it is hard for you to forgive yourself for the choices you made, but that's only part of the story.
Mm.
The other part that can open up the door to possible forgiveness is to accept, acknowledge that what you knew then you don't know now. Like what you knew then is not what you know now. What you know now is absolutely not what you knew then.
Yeah.
And the what we need to forgive ourselves for is the lack of maturity that we had at the time. We didn't know.
No.
The
Mm-mm.
circumstances didn't allow for you to know or understand. Information wasn't provided to you to really deal with that the way you should have. And the way you should have is right now.
Yes.
What you know right now is the most important thing to open up the door to forgiveness for yourself. You didn't know,
I gotta
and you
ask
can
you something
forgive yourself.
now because you just said something, and I need you to go in a little deeper. Okay.
Yeah.
You said the information wasn't given to you at the time for you to know. I just want you to really drive that home a little bit, just a little more for us, because I think it's an interesting thing. And I want the audience to know what you mean by you saying that. If it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah. Of guess two different things come up for me.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think about um people who made decisions as in their younger lives that
Mm-hmm.
did not have access to information to
Mm-hmm.
make better decisions,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
were given heavy loads and heavy decisions to make that were not theirs to make, and had to do the best they could with the
Yeah,
little information they had access to. So that's one aspect that I'm talking about.
yeah.
And then the other aspect is there's a belief that I have that in times and seasons, right? And what there was a time that something was supposed to be revealed to you. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever you discovered that you should have handled something a certain way is the time that it was supposed to be revealed to you to go back and really really repair um that relationship with yourself. So
Yeah.
I think that we beat ourselves up off when I found out that this was wrong, I need to go back and
Yeah.
fix.
Oh,
Now is the time. Now
yeah.
is the time. You're aware now. You weren't aware
Yes.
then.
Yeah. That's a good
And
point. I'm glad
yeah,
that you defined that because I like the way you put it. And I think it's interesting because for me, when you said that, it triggered something completely different than
yeah,
how you defined it. Because
yeah.
what I was thinking of was lack of information given by those who were raising you,
Yeah.
and then the lack of information given by those who you befriend because you both
Mm.
have a deficit.
Mm. Ooh, yes.
And then you come out on the end of thinking, oh, I know what I want to be, what I want to do. I know who I am. And then as you go to the next level of life, all of it was wrong.
No.
Here doing
Yeah,
another
the lied to
work.
me.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
what? Oh, nothing.
Right. Who am I?
Right. So
Yes.
that's
That's
why
another
I like you
aspect.
defined it because I was like, my mind was going back and forth between those two because as I look back as my at my younger self, I either chose friendships that I felt like they were stronger than I was as a person. And so I was willing to sit under them and learn,
Mm, yes.
or they seem to have had it figured out. So even if I knew they were not stronger than I was, they had the audience that would listen to them as if they were. So I sat
Mm,
on to them to learn
mm.
again, and then to discover as I started to really want to make some changes in my life, neither of those perspectives served me well. It
Mm.
didn't work because then I realized I wanted to go to something completely different in raising myself up. So that's why I was asking for that, because my mind definitely went to a couple of spots.
Yeah, no, because Azali, one thing that comes up is like for me is that when you just mentioned sitting under, I'm going to use the word tutelage. You sitting under tutelage of,
Tutelage.
you've learned under someone that seemed like they had it all together.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
what what that comes up for me is culture. Culture comes up for me with that.
Yeah.
Because there is a way in which people in a culture move. There are principles that they move by,
Yes,
and it
ma'am.
is replicated from generation to generation,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And then you grow up and you become at war in yourself because
Yes.
you're like, this doesn't really fully fit me in a lot. I don't really fit fully with this
No,
because
ma'am.
who you are truly, your essence is really rising up and saying, we need to live, we need to shine bright. And
Yes.
then you are fighting what you've learned under because it had formation,
Yes.
it was formidable, it
Yes.
was strengthened, it was practiced over years, it had evidence that it worked.
Yes.
So your true self is coming out like, we don't got evidence that it works, but we want to
No.
be here, hey, hey, hey. And then
Exactly.
and then you're fighting with,
Yeah.
who am I really? Am
Yes.
I what I've learned or am I who I really am, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think that forgiveness plays a huge piece in that because it is, it's not something you need to beat yourself up about when evidence, like when you see something that works or something
Mhm.
that is evidence based, it has worked for a group of people, it has worked for tons of people. So why wouldn't it work for me?
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with, um, or I don't see anything wrong with not yet knowing who you are and then feeling like I need to find identity somewhere. And so I got to learn from this. But
Agreed.
when you do find yourself, though, when you do get some knockings and some rumblings happening inside you that say, hey, we here, we've been here, it's not time to beat yourself up about what you learned. It's time for you
Yes.
to now take what you've learned and either put it to the side or
Yes.
say, how do we integrate this into
Yes.
this version of me that is right now? Or how do we honor it, put it to rest, and
Yes.
then live fully right now?
Yes. Because the good and the bad can serve you well when you're healthy enough to figure out the integration,
Absolutely.
right? And but that takes continued work. And we'll always say it. It's continuous
Mm-hmm.
work. None of us have
Mm-hmm.
arrived. We may feel we've arrived, and then just by feeling you've arrived, you got work to do.
More. What?
It's
I'm
like
not
check
done.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Check yourself
Yeah.
on that. So I love that you define that. We're going to wrap
Yeah.
up our conversation by talking about the 4 R's of
Mm.
forgiveness that we have researched
Yeah.
and that we're working on. So responsibility, and we've been talking about it all along, right? Accept what has happened and
Mm.
show yourself compassion. Mrs. Sounds just said
Yeah.
that. So we wanted to articulate it in this way that when you do that, you're being a responsible citizen of you first, the environment next, planet Earth second,
Yeah. You
right?
first.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So responsibility is the first thing. And then we have remorse. Oh, we're going to mourn some
Mm.
things. We're going to
Oh,
mourn
my
finding out that
goodness.
some truths were not truths, they were lies, deep in the soil lies,
We're gonna
right?
have a couple funerals for some things, yes, for
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
But with the remorse, we're telling you just don't use guilt and remorse in a way as a gateway to negative, but use it as a gateway to positive behavior change. Is what we were saying. The good and the bad can serve you in your now self, in your growth self, in your transformed self, when you are strong enough, healthy enough to see their integration as a fuel to your fire, to your passion to go forward.
Absolutely.
Versus burning yourself alive and punishing you when you were trying to get it together.
Try your best.
You tried your best. Now, if you did not try your best, we're telling you, start today to try your best.
Right. We ain't talking.
Okay.
You got to do a little extra work.
Right. Yeah. That was plan 2. That was it. That's how deep plan 2 gets. Oh my gosh. Plan 2 is start today, try now.
Right. You have another
That's your backup plan. Okay. For all the males, like an option 2. That was it. Short and sweet.
We ain't got nothing else. Okay.
Right? So use the remorse is to use the guilt and the remorse as a gateway, not the all the way gateway, entry point, entrance to positive behavioral change. Restoration. That's the part we love. We want to see some people restored, revitalized, re-energized, raised up to rise up others. Yeah. That's what we want to see. So it's making amends with whomever you're forgiving, even if it's yourself. So what we're not saying is that all forgiveness means that if someone did wrong to you, that you have to go and tell that person they need to apologize, or you have to go and tell that person, I forgive you, whether they apologize or not. Some of that work needs to happen. It is case by case, situation by situation. That might be required. We are not talking about that.
Yes. If it's unsafe to do so, it is not. Yes, it is not required to do. No.
Sit with the therapists, counselors, and spiritual leaders for that particular point on that side. Yes. That's not where we are. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about if you have access, if it's still a healthy, positive gateway to say to the person, I forgive you. Or to say to yourself, now that you're doing the positive work, I forgive you, Azali, for how you treated yourself. I forgive you, Azali, for the choices you made to the younger us. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about when you have access and it is safe and prudent and wise to be able to go and speak about forgiveness. Either you're extending it or you're accepting it. We're saying that that's a form of restoration. And so we're saying from responsibility to remorse, restoration is that third level of the forgiveness that you need to go through. And the final is renewal. Oh, this is what our whole podcast is about. It is the renewal process because we have been restored and we continue to be restored with better choices that each day, new mercy, new grace, new love, new creation, new desire, renewal. Even if part of the day just crashed and burned, we're looking for those renewal opportunities to get up and go forward and do something that supports love, that supports forgiveness, that supports life, that supports living, but that supports good change. Good change. Hear the good first. Please, good change. So in the renewal, you learn from all the experiences and you grow as a person because you decided it's time for me to grow. You decided. You decided.
You chose that. Yes.
Choice. Choice.
Ooh. And rinse and repeat.
Take us into that rise and fall because now we out.
Yes. Rinse and repeat this 4 R's of forgiveness because every day renew your mind and do these things, you know. Yes. So we hate to do this, but we also love to do this because it's it is enriching this part of the podcast. And we're in our segment called Rise and Fall, which is our ending reflections. And we're just going to talk about some of the things that we will let rise after this conversation, and then some of the things that we will let fall away and or try to keep away and out of our lives. So one of the things that really is a big thing for me when it comes to this conversation is the power of choice, the
Ah,
power of agency. Like that is huge for me, especially in my life, but also for people that I know are struggling to um, rush their process
ooh, my God. Rush.
because surrounding the idea of forgiveness, there has been, and we'll go into that in future episodes, but there has been tons of missed opportunities to really accurately reflect what this process is actually about.
Mhm.
Scare tactics have been employed to make people rush their process. Fear, I want to continue to let rise in my life and to our listeners that you can choose and you can choose the pace, and it slow and steady is appropriate for any process that you choose to engage in.
Mhm.
And no one should be able to rush you because no one asked you if it was okay to offend you or hurt you, or you didn't see yourself in those situations. So choice. Um, I think what I would let fall in this conversation, um, I think in the same token is rushing, just
Yeah.
rushing to finish, rushing to start, rushing
Yeah.
to everything. Like I think that it's we have to place a lot of importance on listening to our bodies, listening to ourselves, listen to what doesn't feel safe for us and what does, and slow down. So no rushing for me.
Am I allowed to steal for another?
So
Oh my goodness, it's a
in the last
game.
one.
Oh, this was a great conversation for me because we were able to really take our time with this. So
Yeah.
for me, my rise is to continue to invest time into always going back introspectively and checking
Mm,
to make sure those places of restoration are still restored.
mm. Wow.
I got to make sure that no new damage has occurred in those vaults,
Mm,
that the house is still clean
yeah.
internally in some of those places that I had to forgive for
Yeah.
me to move on, for me
Yeah.
to move on. So my rise is to go back and check those spots, make sure things are still tidy. I don't want any
Mm,
crumbs. I don't want any dust. I don't want things out of place. Everything has to stay in its assigned place because it's important for me not to reactivate those negativity because they will be a distraction to the assignment that I have now. I can't
mm.
afford that.
I love
I'll
that.
never be able to pay the price ever. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't afford that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the place that I would rise in, is to go back and check those continually now, especially in 2024. And the fall is to, on the slow and steady, when I feel that that rush button inside of me gets pushed, create a slow and steady button right next to it.
Yeah.
So you know
Exactly.
when that one gets pushed, because that's the automatic one. That one's in first place. So I'm gonna need to have a second place button to push the slow and steady to stop that rush from happening in shorter time periods than it does now, so that I can really be present to what's happening and quickly assess if this is a moment that needs to be forgiven, choose that
Yeah.
quickly. quickly. Choose it
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the fall is to stop having one button, Azali.
Two buttons.
Right. Add another
Yeah.
button.
Beautiful.
So no more one buttons. No more one buttons internally.
Beautiful.
So Miss Sounds, what is the invitation to this journey?
Man, y'all, we just went in for real, for real.
Yeah.
But I love that we have listeners, and I appreciate that you are listening. So we just ask you to join us on this journey of growth, resilience, and celebration, because we are going to celebrate
We're
ourselves
going to.
on every step. Even if you made the initial decision to explore the option, we
Yes,
celebrate that.
absolutely.
Um, we just ask you to subscribe to Raise Voices on your favorite podcast platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and we are on YouTube. So you can watch us here on YouTube as well, and be a part of our community. And I think that together we are going to redefine what's possible, one empowering conversation at a time.
And as you know, your potential is limitless. And we believe it. So we're going to keep saying it, even if you get annoyed. We believe that for ourselves, and we must believe it for you.
Yeah.
And your growth is boundless. Know that only you can stop you now. We're in a different
Mm,
era. And the only time that the era counts is when people wake up to say, I have more, so I should do more. I shouldn't have more and do less than who I am. And if you still feel like less, redefine it. I need you to stay inspired. Whatever that is for you, please stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep thriving. Please survive. I need you to survive. I need you. I need you. But I
yeah.
need you to always be building one little step, half a step above that survival, where you can exhale in your daily, where you can still dream, where you can still love while you're on the grind, while you're hustling, while you're doing for you
Yeah.
and fam. Still have a moment to dream so that you can
Yeah.
figure out your next. And Miss Sound will tell us what we need to remember, because there's something we always need to remember in all of these episodes.
Remember, y'all, raise your voice to edify, build up, lift up, empower. But
Don't. I know you can, but don't raise your
mm,
voice to annihilate not you, not the next person, not the family, not even those who are enemies. I need you to be kind to yourself. They'll see it eventually, whether they say it or not. Your kindness could be where they start to investigate themselves and do the change. Don't annihilate them. Rise up,
mhm,
rise up and away from them, and you'll be okay.
absolutely. So, you guys, we're going to end our pod today. We hope you really enjoyed the conversation. We truly appreciate just having this time to share and reflect. We salute you. We hope that you have a wonderful week. And until next time, cheers.
Have a safe and a brilliant day. Listen, see you soon. Oh, yeah, I know you're coming back. I believe in you. Guys, have a
Yeah.
wonderful day. Bye for now.
Bye.